Welcome to Byte-Sized Tech, where we like to blend casual conversations with some hopefully insightful discussions on the latest in technology and gadgets. Today, we're diving into the world of robots and AI, and we've got some pretty interesting news from NVIDIA. The company that makes those super powerful graphics cards. Well, get this. They're making a play in the world of humanoid robots.
Yeah, it is fascinating to see how NVIDIA is expanding, their reach.
Yeah.
They're not building robots themselves, but they are planning to release a dedicated computer specifically for these humanoid robots.
Oh, wow. So, they're providing the brains for these robots?
Yeah, it's called Jetson Thor.
Jetson Thor. Okay, so that's kind of like building its super-powered central nervous system for these things.
Exactly.
It's a pretty bold move, especially considering that some of NVIDIA's biggest customers think companies that rely heavily on their AI chips are actually trying to develop their own alternatives.
That's right. It seems like NVIDIA might be trying to stay one step ahead by offering this ready-made solution for robot makers who might be hesitant to build their own AI systems from scratch.
Yeah, it's like they're saying, look, we got the expertise, we got the technology, why reinvent the wheel?
Exactly.
Smart move if you ask me, but hey, it's not just about hardware, right?
Right.
There's a whole universe of AI software out there, and things are getting seriously interesting.
Absolutely. Take DeepSeek, for example.
Okay.
A Chinese AI startup that just dropped a bomb on the scene with their new AI model, DeepSeek V3. This thing is a behemoth boasting a staggering 671 billion parameters.
671 billion parameters. Okay, for those of us who don't speak fluent AI, break that down for us.
Yeah.
What do parameters actually do in an AI model?
So think of parameters as the connections in an AI's neural network.
Yep.
The more parameters, the more intricate and nuanced its understanding of information can become.
So more parameters equals smarter AI.
Essentially, yeah.
Got it. But what's so special about this DeepSeek model besides its sheer size?
Well, it's built on a mixture of experts architecture, which is a clever approach that combines different specialized AI modules to tackle complex tasks more efficiently. And here's the kicker. It's open source.
Wait, open source, you mean anyone can access it and play around with it?
Exactly. It's available on Hugging Face.
Oh, wow.
Which is a platform where developers share and collaborate on these models.
Okay.
And this open approach is a stark contrast to the strategy of companies like OpenAI, who are keeping their models tightly under wraps.
Yeah, so it's like this giant AI playground where everyone can contribute and learn.
Yeah.
I like the sound of that. But speaking of OpenAI, the creators of ChatGPT, they seem to have some pretty ambitious goals themselves.
They do. They've set a rather unique financial target for achieving what they call artificial general intelligence, or AGI, their definition. AI systems generating a cool $100 billion in profit.
So their benchmark for true AI is when it starts making serious bank.
Yeah, essentially.
Interesting. But here's the thing. OpenAI is currently losing billions and doesn't expect to be profitable until 2029.
That's right. It's a bold vision, but one that might be a long way off. And on top of that, they are reportedly considering building their own humanoid robot.
Hold on. Weren't they solely focused on software? Building robots seems like a whole different ballgame.
It does. They actually disbanded their robotics division back in 2021.
Wow.
So this would be a pretty significant shift in strategy.
It makes you wonder if they're trying to do too much at once. AI software, robot hardware, $100 billion target. Are they biting off more than they can chew?
It's certainly a lot to juggle, but on the other hand, they have proven themselves to be incredibly innovative, so it's hard to count them out.
Fair enough. So we got NVIDIA diving into robotics, DeepSeek going open source and OpenAI, aiming for both software and hardware dominance.
Yeah.
It's like a high-stakes game of chess with everyone making their moves and trying to anticipate the next.
Exactly. And it's not just about who makes the most money. It's about who shapes the future of AI and robotics.
And that future is looking pretty exciting. But before we get ahead of ourselves, there's another player we need to talk about, one that might just shake up the entire AI hardware landscape, a company called Tenstorrent.
Oh, yeah.
They're taking on the giants, including NVIDIA, with a completely different approach, but we'll dive into that in part 2 of this deep dive, so stay tuned.
So we were talking about Tenstorrent before, the company that is aiming to disrupt the AI hardware scene.
Yeah.
And they're focusing on this pretty radical idea, integrating CPU and AI cores on the same chip.
Yeah, it's like they're combining the brains and brawn of computing into one super efficient unit.
Yeah.
What's the thinking behind that?
Well, as AI models get more and more complex, the demands on the hardware skyrocket, and traditional setups often struggle to keep up. So Tenstorrent is betting that this tight integration will deliver the speed and efficiency needed to handle these massive workloads.
Makes sense. It's like building a dedicated superhighway for AI data instead of making it navigate, the winding back roads of
Yeah.
the traditional architecture.
Yeah. And it highlights how important the right infrastructure is
Exactly.
for AI to truly thrive. We get so caught up in the algorithms and the software, but
Right.
without the horsepower to run them, it's all for naught.
It's like having a Ferrari but being stuck in rush hour traffic, right?
Precisely.
All that power, but nowhere to go.
Companies like NVIDIA and Tenstorrent are essentially paving the way for AI to reach its full potential.
Okay, so we've covered the hardware side of things, the brains of the operation. But what about the real-world impact? Where are we actually seeing AI and robotics being used today?
Well, one area where we're seeing significant progress is in healthcare.
Okay.
Robots are already assisting surgeons with complex procedures, performing tasks with incredible precision, and even carrying out some surgeries autonomously.
Wait, robots are doing surgery on their own? That sounds straight out of a sci-fi movie.
It might sound futuristic, but it's becoming more common than you might think.
Mhm.
And it's not just surgery,
Oh,
but drug delivery, patient monitoring, even providing companionship to the elderly robots are stepping into a variety of roles.
so robots are becoming our doctors, our nurses, and even our companions. What does this mean for the future of healthcare? Are we all headed for robot hospitals?
I think it's more about collaboration than replacement.
Okay.
Robots can handle those repetitive tasks, and they can provide round-the-clock care,
Right.
which frees up human healthcare professionals
Yeah.
to focus on more complex and nuanced aspects of patient care.
So it's like having a team of high-tech assistants working alongside human doctors and nurses. Kind of like an AI-powered pit crew for the medical world.
That's a great analogy, and this collaboration isn't limited to healthcare.
Okay.
We're seeing it in manufacturing, transportation, and even in our homes. Self-driving cars, delivery drones, smart home devices,
Okay.
they're all blurring the lines between the digital and physical worlds.
It seems like robots are becoming more integrated into our lives every day. It's
Mhm.
exciting, but I have to ask, are robots can take over our jobs?
That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? And it's a valid concern. As AI and robotics become more sophisticated, it's inevitable that some jobs will be automated.
So what should we do? Should we all be learning to code or becoming robot mechanics?
Learning to code is never a bad idea.
Right.
But more importantly, we need to embrace adaptability.
Yeah, okay.
We need to be willing to learn new skills and embrace the changes that are happening around us.
So it's not about fearing the robots, but about learning to work alongside them.
Exactly. I believe there are immense opportunities for humans and robots to collaborate and create a better future together. Think of it as a partnership, not a takeover.
That's a refreshing perspective.
Mhm.
It's easy to get caught up in the doomsday scenarios, but technology is a tool,
Right.
and it's up to us to decide how we use it.
Absolutely. We need to guide the development of these technologies responsibly and ensure they benefit society as a whole.
Well said. We've talked about the hardware, the real-world applications, and the potential impact on the job market. But there's one more piece of this puzzle we need to discuss, the companies driving these innovations.
Hmm.
NVIDIA, DeepSeek, OpenAI, Tenstorrent,
Hmm.
they're all competing, but also, in a way, collaborating to shape this new landscape.
Yeah.
What stands out to you about their different approaches?
What strikes me is the sheer speed of innovation. We're seeing new models, new hardware, new companies popping up constantly.
Yeah.
The race is on to develop and deploy the most advanced AI and robotics tech, and it's happening faster than ever before.
It's definitely a dynamic landscape.
Yeah.
And it's fascinating to see how different players are tackling the challenges and opportunities.
Yeah.
We've got NVIDIA focusing on providing the powerhouse hardware, DeepSeek embracing the open source approach, OpenAI aiming for a vertically integrated model, and Tenstorrent shaking things up with their unique architecture.
It's like we're watching the birth of a whole new era of technology,
Yeah.
and it's anyone's guess who will emerge as the dominant force.
It's definitely a lot to take in, but that's what makes it so exciting. And speaking of exciting, we've got one more company to discuss before we wrap up this deep dive.
Okay.
Remember those graphics cards that NVIDIA's famous for? Well, it turns out they're still a major player in the game, and they're evolving right alongside the rise of AI. But we'll save that discussion for part 3, so stick around. Well, welcome back to Byte-Sized Tech. It's amazing to think that NVIDIA, the company we all know for their insane graphics cards, is now playing a major role in the development of AI and robotics.
Yeah, it really speaks to how quickly technology is advancing. We tend to think of companies as having these fixed identities,
Hmm.
but NVIDIA's evolution shows just how adaptable they are and how intertwined the world of gaming and graphics processing and AI have
It's
become.
like those skills they honed, making graphics cards for gamers, are now being applied to building the brains for robots.
Yeah.
Talk about a level up.
It's a testament to their engineering prowess. Those GPUs, the graphics processing units that power those incredible visuals in video games,
Right.
they're also the workhorses behind many of the AI models that we've been discussing.
Okay.
They provide that raw computational power needed to train and run these massive algorithms.
So even though they're venturing into robotics with Jets and Thor, they're not neglecting their core business.
Right.
In fact, you could argue that they're doubling down on it.
Absolutely. The demand for their GPUs is only going to increase as AI becomes more sophisticated and more widely adopted.
Yeah.
From scientific research to self-driving cars, the need for powerful computing is exploding.
It's like they're riding a wave of AI-powered innovation,
Yeah.
and their GPUs are the surfboards.
I love that analogy. And it's not just AI. Their graphics cards are still essential for gaming, virtual reality, and anything else that demands those high-fidelity visuals.
So they're kind of like the Swiss Army knife of the tech world.
Exactly.
They've got a tool for every cutting-edge need.
And they're constantly pushing the boundaries, releasing new generations of GPUs that are faster, more efficient, and capable of handling even more complex tasks.
It's mind-blowing how quickly this technology is evolving.
Right.
We've gone from clunky robots in sci-fi movies to AI systems that can write poetry and compose music. Who knows what the next 5 to 10 years will bring?
It's hard to predict specifics, but I think one thing is certain. The integration of AI and robotics into our lives will only deepen.
Yeah.
We'll see smarter devices, robots that can perform a wider range of tasks, and AI that feels more intuitive and personalized.
It's exciting, but also a bit daunting. It makes you think about the potential impact on society, the ethical questions, the future of work.
Yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
You're right. As we become more reliant on these technologies, we need to be mindful of their implications. We
Yeah.
need to ensure they are developed and used responsibly, ethically, and in a way that benefits all of humanity.
Well said. It's a conversation that needs to happen not just amongst tech experts, but across society as a whole.
Right.
We're all stakeholders in this future, and we need to be informed and engaged.
Absolutely. And that's what I love about discussions like these.
Yeah.
It's about raising awareness, exploring those different perspectives, and hopefully inspiring people to think critically about the role of technology in our lives.
It's been a fascinating deep dive. We've explored everything from NVIDIA's robot dreams to the rise of open source AI, from the power of GPUs to the ethical considerations that we need to address. It's clear that the world of tech is constantly evolving, and there's never a dull moment.
It's a privilege to witness these advancements firsthand, and who knows what incredible innovations are just around the corner.
Thanks for tuning into Byte-Sized Tech. If you enjoyed the episode, like, comment, share, and subscribe for more fun tech discussions.